If you've been trying to monetize or grow your podcast and you haven't been using AI, this video is for you. Stay tuned for the interview. You're going to learn how to automate your podcast using AI tools, how to build workflows, and how to monetize your podcast, even if you've never done it before, and how to get sponsorships for your podcast without even having an audience. Mark Savant and I talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
AI is, I think, the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. Every week, there's 2,000 new AI apps that hit the market and are developed.
For podcasting specifically, what tools are you using?
One of the tools that I really like right off the bat, using a product like Swell, for example, or a product like Cast Magic, you can easily write descriptions for your show, titles, emails, blog posts, social media posts, all kinds of stuff instantly, stuff that used to take a lot of time. It can even go into your old YouTube videos. So you can just copy and paste old YouTube videos in there and it will write out tons and tons of text, tons of content. And it's really solid. And it's only getting better.
Mark is incredible when it comes to automation. He spends a lot of time talking about specific workflows and AIs that you can use to automate your podcast, even without having a huge budget.
And once you can start automating tools like ChatGPT, things get exciting. As soon as you finish your podcast, you fill out a Google form with miscellaneous information, links for your guest, short bio for your guest, maybe 3 to 5 key takeaways from that episode, okay? You use Zapier, which is another software which connects softwares together that don't normally communicate. It's very effective. And Zapier is a tool that will send all the data that you've put into your Google form over to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will take that information and it will write ideas for titles of the episode. It'll write out a description for the episode. It can write out emails. Whatever you program ChatGPT to do, well, it's going to do it. Then it's going to send all that data over to your Google Drive, and it'll set up a new Google folder with a Google Doc with all the information. So when it's time to go ahead and post the article or the podcast to your blog or to YouTube or to Buzzsprout, you just copy and paste, maybe tweak a couple things, and it's all done.
Is that ChatGPT 4 or 3.5?
Yeah, it requires a paid subscription to the Open AI software. But the OpenAI software integrates directly with Zapier, and ChatGPT 4 also is starting to release plugins. I've started playing with a few of them, but it also has a plugin with Zapier as well.
I know that you guys don't have a huge budget when it comes to starting a podcast. I wanted to ask Mark on how much it actually costs to go ahead and get your podcast up and running, and what kind of budget you need and what kind of softwares you need.
That whole automation will probably cost you $50 a month. I think probably one of the best things to invest in, especially if you're doing video, would be some lighting. Lighting is a big deal. Maybe like a DSLR camera. I'm here on my Canon M50 right now. Canon has a free software that connects it to Zoom, so you can get a nice crispy 1080p, maybe even a 4K video. You can pick up one of those cameras for $500, $600. So that's I think a good investment, and that's something that will prove useful, I think, long term. If you're looking to upgrade your videos, would probably be to migrate from a program like Zoom to a program more like Riverside. Riverside is my preferred platform. It gives you higher quality audio and video. It can give you up to 4K video, and it'll give you what we call a WAV audio file.
I thought Zoom had it all. I'm rocking the DSLR too. I'm like trying to max out quality, but I do see a lot of other podcasters like the quality is 4K, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Riverside will be a huge hit, because listen, Zoom is designed for meetings, right? It's not really designed to be like your own in-house studio. With Zoom, you could have a $10,000 camera there, but it's going to be limited. Plus, the audio is compressed.
What do you think about like hosting? I host my podcast through Anchor, which is free. Do you recommend like a different platform like Buzzsprout you mentioned or something like that? Or do you think it's all kind of the same?
I recommend Buzzsprout for a couple reasons. What I prefer to do is send podcast traffic to my website, because spoiler alert, I want traffic to my website so I can sell my services and my products and so on and so forth. And Anchor is just not going to be as good for that as Buzzsprout. But I think Anchor's fine. If you're balling on a budget, so to speak, I'd probably invest in some of the other things. And, because listen, you can change your RSS host basically anytime. I'd focus probably more on, the Riverside, maybe a little bit of hardware. Regardless of what we end up doing, the world is going to look really different in 5 years. But AI is going to be a major component of that. If you're effective at automating ChatGPT and some of those workflows, you'll be invaluable to companies. You'll be invaluable to clients.
I agree. What are you consuming to like stay top of mind with all this new software that's popping out?
I keep up with new stuff on YouTube. Matt Wolf is a great YouTube creator. He does like a weekly roundup of some of the hottest things. AI developers actually reach out to me pretty frequently to ask for my opinion because I run an agency. I'm in the creator space. When we talk about different AI systems and AI processes that are interesting, things I haven't jumped into is programming a Mark Savant bot. My Mark Savant chatbot would respond back in the way that I would respond with my same vernacular, my same knowledge. So kind of like cloning myself. You see people on OnlyFans doing this, right?
I don't know if you guys are like me, but I always want to know how to get more guests onto my show, because the traditional way of texting people and asking people and doing outreach, it gets laborious.
Building out a traffic system with PR agents and booking agents that are willing to bring you guests, that are willing to pay to be on your show is a really powerful way of monetizing your show from day one. I started out at $50. I remember I was getting hit up for guests all the time, Alex, every day. And I was just not doing anything with them because I had so many guests already. I didn't need any more. This guy said, well, I'll give you $50 if you bring my guest on your show. And I was like, oh, okay, this person looks interesting. Sure. Why not? $50. We did that for a few times. And I said, well, what about 100? He said, okay, I can do that. It was 100. And then eventually I had booking agents paying me up to $500 per guest to come on my show. And guess what? They were amazing. These were some of the best guests that I was bringing on my show. They weren't just coming on and shilling. I mean, we're talking about founders, startups.
I missed that part when I started my show, but it's never late to plant the tree. That's wow. How'd you figure out about podcast booking agents, PR, all that?
Well, again, when I first started off, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'd been in insurance, selling car insurance and home insurance. Again, it just kind of was a fluke. Someone offered to pay me $50. I was like, oh, that works. And then there's shows like John Lee Dumas, Entrepreneurs on Fire. He charges $3,500 for a guest to come on his show.
The best way to just find these podcast booking agents is obviously Google, maybe Facebook groups, something like that.
Yeah, LinkedIn, Google. You can go to Guestio, Podmatch, Matchmaker.fm. So part of the game, Alex, is just putting your name and your email out as many places as possible, because the booking agents will find you. As you keep showing up, they will find you. Now, the After Hours Entrepreneur is globally ranked top 1% show. So it helps. I'm showing up on more lists. As you get out there, as you get in more guests, as you keep putting in the reps, starting scrappy, reaching out to podcast booking agents, there's plenty out there.
I wanted to spend some time with Mark asking him questions on how to stand out among the crowd, because there are so many podcasts that come out each and every day. What does it take to actually stand out, and how do you actually do it?
People will come for the guest, but they'll stay for the host, right? So one of the problems a lot of podcasts have is they have a lot of churn. People will come, they'll listen for 10 minutes, and then they'll bounce, right? Yeah. So you got to find ways to keep people. Stop agreeing with everybody. Stop agreeing with everything that every damn guest says. This is like, it drives me nuts. And you probably do this, or you've been on shows where everything you say, the host just goes, yep. I try to pick holes. I'm trying to find stuff to disagree with. I'm trying to find some debate, because that's what's interesting. That's what interesting people do. Have you ever been on a date and the girl just has nothing to say? She just agrees with everything, or she's like, give me something interesting, right? Cause some debate. And this is actually something I got from Patrick Bet-David when I was talking to him. I have a podcast episode on it, and it's absolutely true. People are attracted to that friction. Finding ways to debate, don't be afraid. And so if you're thinking like, well, gosh, how am I going to debate? Here's what you do. You think about, what are all the various topics that I'm knowledgeable about, right? It could be sports, politics, entrepreneurship, podcasting. You look at all the different topics that you're knowledgeable about. And then you say, what are the commonly held beliefs that I just think are wrong? They're just wrong.
Yeah.
Those are great places to start with, trying to find dissenting ideas, because that's how you make noise. You make noise when you call everyone out on their bull crap. When everyone is saying something, like, I'll give you a perfect example of something that they say, you're not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by someone using AI. It's the same damn thing. You're still not getting the work. It's the same damn thing. Stop saying it. You are being replaced by AI. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
when you start taking these stances, people are like, holy crap, he just called me out. Or, whoa, Alex has got some balls calling out that person, and it's not because I don't like you. It's because it's more interesting and people will pay more attention. And this is why people listen to my show, because I'm telling you stuff you haven't heard before. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Most of the time when you ask a podcast coach or podcaster, how do I grow my show? This is what they're going to say. Well, you make clips and you share the clips on social media. Doesn't work. Clips on social media don't grow your podcast. Your podcast grows your social media. It's the opposite way around.
Thank you guys for watching this episode with Mark Savant. Go check him out. Go find out how you can automate your podcast. Again, if you haven't been to this channel, my name is Alex Davis. I make videos on all the things to help you get your first client so that you don't have to. But stay tuned because I'm going to be uploading a lot more podcast segments like this one that you're watching right now. So subscribe because I'll see you soon.